Well, good afternoon. I think I'm in a different spot. Let's move that a little bit that way. Anyway, I'm going to do a little video on why I didn't vote for Trump last go around. And this video is probably going to make people upset, because a lot of people are very attached to Trump. So, if you don't want to get upset, don't watch it. So, the reason I did not vote for Trump last go around was two reasons. One of them was warp speed, because after COVID and what Trump did with that, and to me it seemed like he just was he was playing all of us, and he warp speeded the New World Agenda. He locked down everybody, and he warp speeded these vaccines, and he claimed to be the father of the vaccine, and he never backtracked off of any of that. And I think a lot of people were not going to vote for Trump for that reason in this second go around, because the people they put in front of us to vote for are the people that they have picked. It's not like what you think. It's not like that we decide who's going to be up there. That these choices are pre-planned, and the people that they put there are the people that can best keep us in line, and whatever their agenda is. This is the way I see it. So this last time, I couldn't bring myself to do it because of warp speed was number one. And I think a lot of other people felt the same way, that warp speed and what Trump had to do with that was enough to keep them just from not getting involved. But then they run this Kamala character, and that makes people kind of like want to get involved just to keep the other person from getting in. And so I wrote in Ron Paul, and I tell you what, I feel good about that. I still feel good about that. I feel really good about that now. So that was the number one reason. And the number two reason was the assassination attempt. And this guy named Thomas Crooks, right? So anyway, you think it's kind of a neat, let's see, what would this word of, coincidence that Trump had a nickname for Hillary and a nickname for Biden, right? He called him Crooked Hillary and Crooked Biden, right? And then all of a sudden, this guy with the name Thomas Crooks, is the guy that's going to take him out, And like, man, that's quite the coincidence, And then, and then I think we got played on that. I'd say for one thing, I've never seen the photo ops that came out of that. And the fact that Secret Service, anytime you ever seen Secret Service or somebody try to shoot a president or something, they tackle that president. They stay on top of him, and he does not get up. And he's not going to be walked around. They don't know how many shooters are out there. They don't know what's going on. But the whole thing looked staged. The whole thing looked staged. The blood looked staged. The whole thing, to me, looked staged. And the pictures looked staged. The blood on the ear and the thumb, and then even his shoes come off to give the impression that the blood was on the right hand, right thumb, right toe, to put him as this anointed one, right? And then the great photo ops, the fact that there's a little short person up front, and the fist pump and the flag and the fight. Boy, if it weren't for that, he might not have swayed the crowd. He might not have swayed over all the people that recognized what happened during COVID and were still like, they just weren't going to get behind it. But this pushed him over the edge. So it's kind of like Thomas Crooks there was what pushed him over the finish line, in a great way. So. And then there was this rally that happened right afterwards. I mean, really fast, like 5 days, And I think one of the first things he said when he came out was, he's not going to talk about, he wants to talk about it this one time and doesn't want to, I don't want to bring it up. We don't want to talk about it anymore after that. We're going to just talk about it now. And a lot of times when somebody's got a story they're trying to tell you and they don't want to contradict themselves or whatever, that's the way they're going to do it. Like, we're going to just do this one thing, talk about it right now. We don't want to bring it up. And you'll notice that it has not been in the limelight anymore. Like, you'd think that situation would, like, there'd be a lot of looking into it. So that's why I didn't do it, because you know what? I felt like it was planted. It was like It wasn't real. Or I felt like some people died. And that's how evil I feel like the people that control things are. So that you're presented with this stuff, and it's a narrative, and they don't care if people die or whatever happens. That it is not. This is not a right versus left thing. That this is the next unfolding of the agenda that comes from the right and the left. That he's supposed to move in there to do the things that he's doing now that he said he wasn't going to do. So that's why I say a lot of people get upset about that because they're very attached to Trump, like Papa Trump, you know. But you got to realize that he's been put there to pull you in like that, to give you that connection, to make you defend at all cost what he's saying, you know, because you feel connected to him. He's not connected to you, but you feel connected to him. You've seen all the imagery, the hugging the flag, and all these things. And now we're getting drug into a war that he said he wasn't going to do. And what I would say, you know, and it's a Zionist war, and that instead of the main people in our government that are like pro-America, love the Constitution, and are trying to do the right thing, people like Thomas Massie, Ron Paul, Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay? These are his greatest enemies. That should tell you something. He calls them traitors. Okay, he calls them traitors, but he's the traitor. He's the traitor to the cause. He's embraced Lindsey Graham, probably the slimiest slime ball of all slime balls. Okay, so it's not a right-left thing. We're getting played, so it's time to, you know, I'm just giving my opinion here because I can. That's why I didn't get on board last time. And I tell you what, from my own self, man, that's a freeing thing. I didn't, you know, most of the time I get motivated to vote is because the other person is so bad. I just like, man, I got to go do something. I got to do something. I got to get involved here, mainly against this other person. But then you find out these people work together. The Trumps and the Clintons are not two polar opposite things. They're on the same team. He's like, hey, Clinton's my buddy, you know. And then you get this 6 million pages that were supposed to come out about the Epstein thing, right? And then all of a sudden they only released half of them, right? So what do you think was in the other half? You know, like, so they released half, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is really bad. And now we're going to war, you know. So you say, well, maybe what was in the other half really, you know, like they could get them to do these things that get us into wars and things because to keep us from seeing what was in the other half, or the names that were in there, or maybe if this first half was really bad, the other half was really bad. Now, of course, it's not on the people aren't talking about it. But a lot of people feel a very close connection to Trump because that's the way the system works. That's how they get you. They get you to feeling like, this is my guy. I can trust him. You can put confidence in him. Meanwhile, they're working against you completely. And so, anyway, I'm going to keep this kind of short. That's why I didn't vote for him, because he completely betrayed the American people with warp speed. Do you see Bill Gates in jail right now? No, you don't see Bill Gates in jail. What about Fauci? What about this whole conspiracy that was against the American people that he led and claimed to be the father of? Was that ever taken care of, corrected? Did anybody go to jail? No. Okay. They didn't, because they still run things. These people are still in power. And the Epstein thing, no. So the criminal class is still running the show. And it's not right. It's not red versus blue. It's them versus you. And the only way that we can try to pull them back and chain them down to the Constitution and not allow them to go and start wars that that take our young men and women and drag them off into these conflicts. And they're talking about using nuclear bombs and things like that. This is anti-American. This is anti-the-Constitution, and it's against our interest. And these people are not working for us; they're working against us. And their lies and everything, it comes from both sides, the left and the right. And the left and right both were working towards this goal of what they're doing now. And so that's what I would say. I said, for myself, I didn't write his name on that paper last time. And you know what? That didn't change things at all for him or anything else. But it certainly changed things for me and how I feel good about it. I feel good that I wrote down Ron Paul. And I think that myself, that I'm going to be very careful in whose name I put on anything from now on, because the effect it has on me versus, what it has to do with somebody else. And this whole idea of like, oh, I just got to vote for the lesser of two evils. Well, I think that has just brought us into a place of evil. It just keeps getting worse. And this next go around, it's going to be a disaster for the Republican Party. I mean, it's over. I would say. I'd say he has betrayed the entire America First movement, and then the other side is going to take advantage of it. And guess what? I believe that was the plan all along, and we're the ones going around with a big sucker sticker on the back of our head. Anyway, that's the end of that. Later.